Welcome back to Houston Life. Our next guest is an avid book reader and librarian who shares her love for reading through her Instagram page, Trip Through the Pages.
Yeah, so on that page, she takes visitors through a literary adventure and promotes awareness for any celebration through children's and young adults novels. And for Black History Month, Bookstagrammer Jasmine Washington is here with 4 books celebrating Black heritage, culture, and music. Welcome to Houston Life, Jasmine.
Thank
it's
you.
So nice to meet
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You're from a small town in East Texas,
Yes.
Jasper, Texas.
Yes.
And you loved reading from an early age.
I did. I was very much an avid reader. If I don't know if y'all remember from highlights, there used to be a way where you could order like a ton of books at one time. I was always doing that. I was always reading those. My reading kind of fell off as I got older, get into high school, college, and not reading for fun anymore.
Right.
And it wasn't until I was able to work in a library again, and like that just reignited my love for reading again.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing your work, because librarians are important, period, right? That's just a given. But I'm always a little jealous of someone who can read as their work. But you have found, I am, because it's like my alone time. That's like the way I decompress. But you have curated something. It's really important that you get kids actively involved in this. Why is that?
I'm a person, like, I'm very much about like working with the youth. I think that if we want to look towards having a better and brighter future, like, we need to make an investment in them. And so I feel like my work is that investment in them. I think we have like these preconceived notions and assumptions about them, but once you start working with them, like, that kind of fades away. And you start to see that, you know, they are people like with feelings, and they have humor, and they have great thoughts, and they're very creative and bright. So I think it's very important to work with them.
We love these videos of you doing your job. So currently you're working as a librarian at the Spring Branch Memorial Library. Clearly you love your job, which is awesome. And you can tell the young people are really touched by what you do. During the pandemic, a trip through the pages, that's your Instagram account, Trip Through the Pages. This is something you started in August 2020 during the pandemic. Why was that important to you? I mean, obviously we were all feeling very isolated at that time.
Absolutely.
And I'm guessing you were trying to connect with a broader audience.
Yeah, so I was just like everyone else, I was just scrolling through social media. I was like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Like, I kept having things pop up, I guess, from the algorithm with books. And so I found accounts that were purely just about books. And I was like, I want to do this. I want to start this. So it honestly just became like a little bit of like a passion project for me, and something that I could just do like outside of like work and things like that, to just be able to just spread my love of books. And it's actually like a nice little community on there on Instagram of book lovers, like on Bookstagram. Bookstagram is just like book and Instagram, just the words smashed together. And it's just a bunch of us bibliophiles just really loving books, giving reviews, posting funny videos. So yeah, I found a real love and a community there.
I love it.
Me too. I love that you have found that community, and you're here actually showing us some stuff that is important to you. You've picked 4 books for us, and I want to go through them and why you picked them, why they stuck out to you, and why you would recommend them. So let's start. You want to start with number 1?
Yeah, there was a party for Langston Hughes.
Yes. So with that one, I chose that one because I didn't even know that book was coming out until I saw Jason Reynolds, who usually does YA and middle grade books, and I'm like, he's coming out with a picture book? So it shocked me. So he did this picture book because he was inspired by a photograph he saw of some poets celebrating Langston Hughes at the New York Public Library's Schomburg Center for Black Research and Culture.
Wow.
And I love the illustrations in this book because I don't think you would know it, but the illustrators, they kind of use something where it's like printmaking. So it's them like taking and etching out kind of like on foam or styrofoam and like layering each piece down on there.
Yeah.
And if you look at the words in the pictures, they're forming the images. So to me, that's able to show like the beauty of words, like not just in what we hear and what we read, but like also like as an image as well.
It's beautiful.
In the images that they create.
Really good rec.
I really love that one. So if you're a fan of like Jason Reynolds, I highly suggest this one. If you're a fan of anyone that's in poetry or anything like that, it's great. great. And I just like the rhythm of the picture book because to me that's important, especially being like a person that does story time. Like if there's no real rhythm to things, like I'm kind of like, this isn't gonna work.
Kids will catch on to that, and they'll know their book, their favorite books. They'll memorize them by heart because of that awesome rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay, what's number 2? I love this art, the front artwork. on there.
Yes.
Inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one I really love because one, it was like featuring like a black girl. And for me, that's not something I saw a lot of when I was growing up. So I feel like I'm always gonna pick these up. But I like how it's touching on like the light that she has within her and how she feels in different moments. Like it shows like her different auras in different moments. Like when she's like at a party or when she's hanging out like with her cousins, but also those like low kind of sad moments of like, you know, when they're talking about their bills, her family, or when her cousin gets stopped by the police. And so I like in this book, she has a guide. She actually has a black librarian, a black librarian, who kind of walks her through and shows her like these different women who also had these different auras and how they used them to do the work that they did.
That's so amazing.
That's really great. We got about a minute to cruise through the final 2. This is a young adult book. You're not supposed to die tonight.
So
Looks intense.
So scary, yeah.
So if you're a fan of horror, if you like Friday the 13th, Halloween, you're about the final girl, this is a book for you. I chose this one because you don't see a lot of like black horror that's out there, and that's something that's actually been talked about like in the Bookstagram community and things like that. So I chose this one because it actually shows like the final girl as like a black woman, and then it's also like LGBTQ friendly too, and so I like that aspect as well as being inclusive.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Okay, and really quick, the last one?
So this last one is actually like a graphic novel. I'm a lover of graphic novels. Graphic novels are real books. I'm gonna say that till the end of time. And so this one, it takes you through like the history of hip hop culture. And I read this one because I thought it was very interesting, especially since hip hop just celebrated its 50th anniversary, I believe in August. So I really wanted to tap into this book and just get the full history because hip hop has like a mainstay within culture that I don't think any of us realize. And just the influence that it has just in today's world too, like not just in the black community, but like throughout pop culture itself.
Yep.
Jasmine Washington, we got to leave it there. Thank you
your
so
stuff.
much.
I like that.
Have you ever thought about writing your own book?
Sometimes yes, but
I vote yes. That's two
Washington,
yeses. That's
I can
3.
see it now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To our viewers, if you would like to take a trip through the pages with Jasmine, you can visit our website, HoustonLife.tv. Just look for that scene on Houston Life section.
Okay, awesome.